Right. So, as we were saying, now we are talking about speaking. Thank you. So, the most important thing about speaking, as I said, there are three most important things for speaking. They are fluency plus pronunciation plus content. Fluency plus pronunciation plus content. Some of you already be very good in speaking because your fluency is very good. The way you pronounce words is very good. However, some of you have issues with certain words, or some of you have issues with your fluency, and some of you have something called mother tongue influence. What is it called? Mother tongue influence. We are going to talk about skills for next 10 minutes, and then we are going to do some practice, and then I'll be giving you sample answers, which if you want, you can record. Okay. So we have fluency, pronunciation plus content. Now, what does fluency means? That there should be no long pauses in your speech. There should be no long pauses. No long pauses or even short pauses. Now, no long pauses, short pauses are allowed, which means half of a second pause is okay because you need to breathe. People say, if I speak continuously, how I'm going to breathe? You're still going to breathe with your nose, not with your mouth. Breathing doesn't change. But because if you have not practiced speaking it every now and then, regularly without pauses, you will have this problem where you're breathless. But that changes with practice. Okay, no long pauses. Least mother tongue influence. Least mother tongue influence. Least mother tongue influence means the way we speak our own language, the way we speak our mother tongue. We should not speak English with that tone. Okay, we will do some examples of that. For example, people who are from north, okay, they sometimes they elongate the words. They sort of sing at the last word, and there is a lot of the way you speak your own language. You speak the same way the English as well. That's when the computer does not recognize. Okay, so there should be least mother tongue influence. A little bit of mother tongue influence is all right. Okay, now there are second kind of people who sort of have a fake accent. Who have a fake accent. People who try to be too much Aussie. Yeah, oh, how you going, mate? Yeah, people speak like this. They don't. They open their mouths too much. They open their mouths too much. Yeah, Australian people, they open their mouth. That's fine, but you don't have to open the mouth too much. Okay, when you enjoy your accent, you're making a mistake, because then you're not attentive how you are saying the word. Then you're not attentive how you are saying or pronouncing a particular word. This happens to if out of 100, let's say 4 to 5 people, because they've adopted the new culture so much that they cannot speak in their own tongue. They have learned this tongue so much that they can't speak in their own tongue. The new language has been accepted so much. So that fake accent thing, you might not fall in that category. You might be falling in that mother tongue influence category. Okay. Oops. Mother tongue influence category, and then fake accent. What else do you think is an issue with this? And the finally is content. Final is content. 6 bands, it may not be needed much. When I say may not be needed much, it does not mean it is not needed at all. It may not be needed much, but it is certainly needed. Yes. So keeping that in mind, fluency, pronunciation, and content. Fluency means no pauses, no hiccups, no stops at the end of a sentence. In read aloud, repeat sentence, retell lecture, describe image, no matter which sort of question you're doing, we shouldn't have pauses. The way you speak is very important. There should be no mother tongue influence. We will talk about examples of mother tongue influence. Accent, you have to be careful that you're not too Aussie, you're not enjoying the accent too much. And finally, the content. Content here means information. Means the information which you're giving, it should be correct. It should be to the point. For 8 bands, the most important thing is they have to have correct information. They have to have correct information. Any questions? No? Now, it's very important to keep in mind the time limit as well, because for read aloud, you have total 35 to 40 seconds. For repeat sentences, you have almost 10 seconds. For describe image, you have 40 seconds. For read a lecture, you have 40 seconds. And for answer short question, you have 10 seconds. So keeping that in mind, what you need to do is you always make sure that whatever you speak, it should be within the time limit. It should be within the time limit. When I say within the time limit, it does not mean that you speak up for 10 seconds and then you keep quiet. Okay. So for example, read aloud. Okay. You will finish before time. Read aloud, you always finish before time. So if there are 40 seconds for which you have to speak, you will finish it in around 22, 25 or maximum 28 seconds. Once you finish, don't press next straight away. Do not press next straight away, because there are chances that computer will not be able to record your voice. Yes, give it at least 2 seconds and then press next. Give it at least 2 seconds and press next. Does that make sense? Read aloud. You finish. You have finished once. You wait for 2 seconds and press next. Repeat sentence. Again, you have total time which you have is 10 seconds to respond. You will finish it in 3-4 seconds. Do not let the recording go till end, because there are external voices that affect your speaking when you have stopped speaking. So again, in repeat sentence, you wait for 2 seconds and press next. You should be writing this down. I'm not sure why you're not. So read aloud, repeat sentence. Once you finish, you wait for 2 seconds and press next. Similarly, answer short questions. They are only a 1 second or 2 second answer. However, because there is 10-second limit, you will have to finish. You finish and press next within 2 seconds. So you finished, 1, 2, next. However, for describe image and read a lecture, the total time limit which you have is 40 seconds. How much is it? 40 seconds. So no matter what, you will not keep quiet before 40 seconds. You will find a lot of information out there in the market saying that, oh, you can speak for 25 seconds and press next. You can speak for 30 seconds and press next. We go by the rules. We go by the rules. Everything that is being done by according to rules. We do not befool the system, that the system befools us. Am I clear? So we just have to make sure that we speak according to the time limit and we stay within the time limit. So read aloud, repeat sentence, and the last one is answer short. Answer short questions. Morning. Come in. Answer short questions. Then describe image and read a lecture. You can start speaking again. If your ideas finish before time, if your ideas finish before, if your ideas finish before time, start saying the same thing again. This is worst case scenario. Which scenario? Worst case. However, you should have practiced this much that you don't have to repeat anything again. You getting my point? But again, for you to do that means if you do not want to repeat even second time, you will have to have a lot of practice of the content. You have to have a lot of practice of the content and of the phrases. You need to learn the phrases. You need to learn the phrases. Those phrases, as I said, they help you in managing time and being fluent. Yes or no?
Yes.
Any questions? So these are the 5 questions, 5 important question types of speaking. Now remember, read aloud affects your reading score. Repeat sentence affects your listening. Answer short questions affects your listening. And read a lecture affects your listening. In addition to speaking. And describe image only affects your speaking score. Yes or no? Beautiful. So the first image which we're going to talk about is a map. So usually when we get a map, as you have written on your skills files, from the skills file, we should talk about directions. We should talk about directions. Again, as speaking does not affect other modules, we need to make sure that whatever we speak it clearly and fluently. So I will do the first describe image for you, which is a map. All the phrases that have been taught to you, they are inside my head because I've learned them myself. Now it's how to practice it. So as soon as the image comes in front of you, I'll have a 40-second timer on my phone. Now remember, in describe image, whatever information is in front of you, you talk about it. You don't really worry about whether you have compared something or not. That's fine. But whatever is in front of you, you need to talk about that clearly, fluently, and correctly. Okay, number 1, 2, 3, begin. The given image provides geographical distribution of an area called Antarctica. The map is divided into 4 different directions, which is east, west, north, and south. And it is further divided into southeast, southwest, northeast, and northwest. We can see in northeast or east, there is Indian Ocean. On northwest, we have Atlantic Ocean. In southwest, we have Pacific Ocean, whereas in southeast, we have South Magnetic Pole. There is also Ron Ice Shelf in the west of the map, and in the middle of the map, there is South Pole, and towards south, there is Ross Ice Shelf again, and there is McMurdo Station, and there is Ross Sea. We can see that Antarctica is by 4. Sorry.
Sir, where is image?
Again, I'll put a 40 seconds. In the last image, if you see, last 1 second, I couldn't get the word in my head. I wanted to say surrounded, but I was going to say considered. If that happens, whatever word comes to your mouth, just say that. Okay? Next image. 1, 2, 3, begin. The given line graph provides trend analysis of temperatures in the mountains of southwest Tasmania. The x-axis gives information about months from January, March, May, July, September, November, and December. And the y-axis gives information about the temperature in degrees Celsius from -15 to 35. The 4 categories, which is highest maximum recorded, average maximum, average minimum, and lowest minimum recorded. Highest recorded in January was somewhere around 28 degrees Celsius, which was in December the same. Average maximum was around 12 degrees Celsius and is represented by black color in the month of January. And by the end of December, it was almost the same. Average minimum was around 3 degrees Celsius in the starting, and it finished at roughly the same point. Does that make sense? Was I too fast? Was I too slow? Was I clear? Did I say something beautiful picture, beautiful picture? Did I say as an incorrect content? No. So that's what we need to keep in mind. Again, see, I'm not Superman that I'm able to do this and you won't be. It's just, it has to do with practice. Now, this is a process. Again, the way you have to say the process has already been given to you. Okay. The words have been written, words have been given. If you don't have it, today we can write them again. Anyway, starting the process again, listen. The given image provides information about the life cycle of a plant. It talks about the sequence of the steps and the number of steps. There are total 7 steps in it, and each step has its own importance. Starting with the first step, a man is digging the soil and it is in sunlight. In the second step, he is throwing something on the ground, which seems to be seeds. In the third steps, we can see as the time passes, the shoots and roots have started to appear. The shoots are above the ground and roots are below the ground. In the next step, the stem has become longer. With rainfall and sunlight, it is becoming bigger. In the next step, the leaf has started to appear. And in the next step, the flower has come into existence. And from the flower, the seeds are taken again. Okay? Table. The given table provides numerical analysis of export of motorcycles from Japan. The table is divided into rows and columns. It is quite clear from the graph that Asia was 7.7% and there is a change of -4.7. Middle East was 0.7 and there is a decrease of 2.9%. Europe was 34.5 and there is a decrease of 23.6%. North America was 35.5 and it increased by 68.7. Central America was 1.2 and it is an increase of 11.6%. South America is 8%, which is an increase of 19.9%. Africa is 4.2%, which is a decrease of 17.8%. Oceania is 8.2%, which is a decrease of 16.7%. There's no rocket science in this. Whatever information is in front of you, plus is increase and minus is decrease. You know that, yeah?
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. Grammar matters less. The given pie chart provides proportional analysis of employment of physics graduate 1 year after the graduation. There are different colors which represent different categories. In full-time education, it is dark green color. In full-time paid, it is gray color. Work and part-time study is less green color. Working part-time is more black color. Doing unpaid work is a little bit more black. Not available for work is almost white, and unemployed is green. 35% of people are in full-time education. 30% are in full-time paid employment. 15% are in work and part-time study, 5% are in working part-time, 5% are doing unpaid work, 5% are not available for work, and 7% are unemployed. Rocket science? The given bar graph provides comparative analysis of contribution of selected sectors to the UK economy in the 20th century. The x-axis gives information about time from 1900 to 2000, and the y-axis gives information about percentage from 0 to 60. There are three categories: agriculture, manufacturing, business, and financial. In 1900, agriculture was 50%, manufacturing was 48%, business and financial was only 5%. In 1950, agriculture was at around 52%, manufacturing was at around 40%, and business and financial was around 10%. 1975, agriculture is only 10%, manufacturing is around 20%, and business and financial is at. Does that make sense? Main